Boy, good morning, guys. Rough start. 8 a.m. Pacific time, July 3rd. All right. So I then prepared to interview another veterinarian who's interested in joining VetTriage. I figured maybe it'll help the new grads who are looking for a job. What to some tips for that. And I think what I'm looking for in a veterinarian is probably going to be fairly universal amongst the field, but we'll see. Thanks so much for those who watch this in the playback, and feel free to share and subscribe and do all the things. So, in no particular order, we'll just jump into different things that I look for in a veterinarian. First off, obviously they need to be licensed vet, at least in one location in the United States or the world, depending on what you're doing. Secondly, we of course like veterinarians that have experience, just like any other job. But obviously, if it's your first time as a veterinarian, it's not as crucial that you don't have prior experience, and this is because it's a higher level of training and education, and so we don't require that as strongly, at least not for every veterinary position. There are definitely some where it requires or require it. On my platform, VetTriage, I'm looking for at least 5 years of experience on the platform, but in brick and mortar, you don't need to have experience necessarily, depending on where you're trying to work. Third, we're looking for team players, and this is something you can't really teach. You want a doctor who knows that this is not a one-man sport. This is a team effort, and so they have to be able to work in a group, and not just in any group, in a group under stressful conditions that are fast-paced and multifaceted. So you need to be a team player. It's not a solo game. You need to be trainable, and not everybody is. So you need to be able to receive feedback. You need to be able to ask for help. You need to be able to realize when you've made a mistake. You need to know how to ask a question if you're looking for somebody to guide you, mentor you in your first job. You need to know how to ask a question without coming off obnoxious or pompous or whatever. And so you got to be trainable. Obviously, and I guess I'll go back to the solo vet thing. There are plenty of rescue opportunities where you can work at a shelter or rescue where the only veterinarian on. But most veterinarians want to be around other veterinarians. They can learn how to handle the first job. But even in a rescue environment where you are the only doctor, you still have all the support staff there and management and whatever else. So it's still going to be a team sport. Anyway, you need to be trainable. Is my next point. Okay. You need to have honor in your job. So this is something that's not talked about a lot. Simon Sinek has mentioned this, and I like the idea, like the concept. It's nothing new. It's been around, but because of the current state of affairs with work culture, it has become a problem where not just veterinarians, but folks in the workforce, they don't have honor in what they do. They think that they are being paid to fulfill a minimum number of requirements, which is your job description. And it's actually not true. A job description is not a finite amount of what you're expected, and you need not go beyond that. It's a minimum requirement. It's at bare minimum, you're going to be asked or expected to provide to handle these tasks. But your job can go beyond those tasks, and that's for some reason over time the job description has turned into what I described to just the maximum that I do. I'm not doing anything beyond that. That's what I get paid for. It's not my job to do that because it's not on my list of things, etc. So, so we want a veterinarian who has honor for the position. They're not disgruntled if the day goes haywire, because it always will. They don't get upset If surprises happen, because it's medicine, there always will be surprises. They understand there are some days where you get to leave on time or leave early. There are other days where you have to stay late. That's medicine for you. If you want more structure in your job, then medicine is not for you, or at least not your typical brick and mortar um, establishment. So yes, we want somebody who has honor for the position and really has a drive for it and passion for it. That being said, we also want somebody who values work-life balance, who knows how to manage that, because you, you could be as dedicated to VetTriage or any other veterinary organization to the millionth degree, and really be there 24/7 for your clients and for your team and whatever. But you're going to get burnt out, and you're no good to anybody if you're burnt out. So you have to be able to figure out a way to have work-life balance. Work and your clients are going to push you to your limits because they want something irrelevant of your own mental health or work-life balance. So you have to be able to set rules, guidelines, cutoff points, to where boundaries, to where you say, I get it, I understand what you need. I will provide that to you again when I'm back in the office. And that's it. And not feel guilty about it, and all that, and not be afraid of your team lashing out at you or whatever. So yeah, those are all things I look for. Now, during your interview, whether it's with VetTriage or you have to ask about work culture. It's mandatory. And of course, they're going to say the work culture is great, whatever. But we all know in the veterinary field that emotions can run high, and there's a lot of stress, including VetTriage, right? That's just the nature of the game. It's not an easy job being a veterinarian. So you want to kind of pay attention to the surroundings, maybe talk to other people, not just the person who's interviewing you, get a sense of the air. How does it feel being there? Are people happy and upbeat to be there, or are they disgruntled and upset and annoyed or whatever else? So yeah. So that's so you want to ask that. You want to ask what opportunities there are for growth in as a veterinarian, what kind of mentorship there is, and continuing education, additional training beyond the day-to-day grind. And yeah, and then you also want to always have the contract reviewed by an attorney. That triage is pretty straightforward because independent contractors, but for actual employees, you want to make sure, and you still have your attorney review VetTriage's agreement. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that it's a pretty routine, it's pretty standard agreement. But in your brick and mortar, these agreements can be pretty complex and tricky, and so you want to make sure you have an attorney look through it and make sure. Yeah, and and otherwise, it's your basic personality traits. Let your personality shine through. Be engaged, be present, be inquisitive. We want to be able to enjoy that person we work out with, almost like we almost hang out outside of work. Not that you want to muddy those waters, but you want to be a joy to work with, because veterinary medicine is very rewarding, but also very stressful, very demanding. And so we don't want to work with people who don't want to be there, who are miserable, who are going to bring everybody else down. For those who listen to this and you're interested in VetTriage, as far as employment, reach out to me. Go to the website. There's an email address on the website, and to contact us and send me your resume, what days and times, including time zone, you want to meet on Zoom, and I'll send the Zoom invite. We'll go from there. Video is mandatory for these discussions, and I try to make myself very flexible. We currently have around 60-ish doctors on the platform. I'm hoping to potentially hit 80 by 2025, and we're very proud of the work that we're doing. So many of the veterinarians I have currently on the roster have been with me for years. It's great. I think that's probably a good place to stop. Thanks everybody for watching in the playback. Donate, subscribe, hit like, share, and we'll see you tomorrow, July 4th. So the beginning of the holiday for us in the United States. And yeah, we'll figure out what to talk about then. I don't know how busy I will be with the holiday, but I do plan on live streaming again tomorrow. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.